Hello, everybody. Buddy Webb, Midland, Texas. This is going to be a really interesting story. I'll just jump right on into it here on a Facebook post today. It's breaking news. Midland Mayor Patrick Payton, new story, blocked by Facebook. Okay. For the last few weeks, a large group of protesters have been outside of the home of Bob Fu here in Midland. He's a pastor at a church running a nonprofit called China Aid, but they're saying he works for CCP. That's the Communist Party in China, and is involved in human trafficking. This has been reported by a local press. The billionaire connected with these protesters is named Miles Guo. Mr. Guo is said to be connected with Trump supporter Steve Bannon, and it's my understanding their news website is being blocked by Facebook. That's gnews.org. You can't post that on Facebook. I shared a story about our mayor posted by them, but it was blocked. And then yesterday I got a notice from Facebook saying they got it wrong. That is what you're seeing in the screenshot. If you go to the homepage, then you can see the many other stories they posted, which include the Hunter Biden files that are being uploaded every few hours. That's why this is such a big story, is that, of course, Facebook is well known as blocking all the Hunter Biden story during this election. Some people think their election meddling is what they're doing. Okay, and so I'm going to show you the print screen. I got this yesterday from Facebook, and I had posted a link. Right here is the link, gnews.org 441627, and that's the story about our mayor here in Midland, Patrick Payton, and Bob Fu. I was immediately blocked by Facebook because they block everything from G News, and I disagreed, and then they come back and said that they got it wrong and they allowed it. Okay, but I really even think that if I try to post it again, then it's going to get blocked. Okay. So my follow-up story here, or comment was, this is a screenshot of the news site where the story about Midland Mayor Patrick Payton was posted. It updates with new stories ever so often. I was afraid to post a link to it as I believe it to be blocked by Facebook. And I'm going to show you here, I just took a screenshot of gnews.org right there. Okay, you can see the URL, and this is a news site, news story. This is where I found the story about our mayor, our Midland mayor, and communist China owns Joe Biden. Breaking. Joe Biden and his wife knew Hunter's inappropriate, and these is where the files are being uploaded, and I think I read something where they're going to upload files from Hunter's laptop every few hours for the next 13 days or whatever, and so you can see why Facebook, who wants one, person to be elected over another one. They're very biased, of course, and they don't want this kind of it doesn't matter how factual it is, or being even that it's a picture, they're blocking it. So just to show you that, what's interesting is the connection back between that site in Midland, Texas, and human trafficking and our mayor and this pastor here. Okay, so here's my next comment down. Mayor Patrick Payton of Midland, Texas, defends Bob Fu. Now, what I'm reading here to you is the article from the G News site that originally got blocked and then now was approved. Okay, and it says Mayor Patrick Payton of Midland, Texas, defends Bob Fu, an agent of the Chinese Communist Party, and defames Miles Guo. That's the billionaire. Okay. The pro-democracy protesters from the whistleblower movement, led by Mr. Miles Guo, have been demonstrating since September 2020 against the injustices committed by Bob Fu, an alleged spy of the Chinese Communist Party, CCP. On October 5th and 15th, 2020, Mayor Patrick Payton of Midland, Texas, held press conferences in reference to the peaceful protest against Bob Fu and his organization, China Aid. Mayor Payton accuses the lawful demonstrators of being communist agitators and were brought and paid for by Miles Guo, is what it says, in a commitment to the regime of Z. I don't even know what that means. He also characterizes the protesters as people who make threats, literally terrorist threats against our citizens. Okay, that's what the mayor was saying. However, Mayor Payton's brazen statements from his press conferences are lies aiming to defame Mr. Miles Guo and the whistleblower movement. as a protester by the pseudonym of Little Prince has called out his viral Twitter video, Mayor Payton is a corrupt, shameful, disgraceful, dishonest liar. Little Prince has pointed out in his passionate and brave speech that such false allegations were frequently made in the past against Mr. Miles Guo, an exiled billionaire fighting for the freedom of the Chinese people. In fact, one of the liars is Baishang Gui, another so-called pro-democracy activist similar to Bob Fu. In 2019, the United States District Court for the Eastern District of Virginia ruled that Baishang Gui had defamed Mr. Miles Guo by accusing him of having a close relationship with the Chinese spy agency MSS, being suspected of serious crimes, working with Chinese hackers to persecute exiled human rights activists in the United States. Okay, and so y'all can read that. Here's more about our mayor. Mayor Patrick Payton's false statements have misled the local media and the people of Midland, Texas. His accusations are already proven to be false in the case against Baishang Gui, who have made the same allegations against Mr. Miles Guo. See, there was a court ruling on it. That's what that was saying. There was an award up here at the top. I switched it. Okay, and I skipped that. Okay, when asked by the protesters about his sources or to engage in a public dialogue, Mayor Payton has repeatedly cowered away from explaining his allegations against Mr. Miles Guo and the whistleblower movement. What interest does Mayor Patrick Payton have in defending Bob Fu, the alleged CCP spy? Why would Mayor Payton risk his reputation by launching obviously false accusations that are already proven to be untruthful in the U.S. court? Further investigation of Mayor Patrick Payton's financial ties to Bob Fu could reveal the real reason behind his travesty of justice. You will find continuous Chinese and English coverage of the protest against Bob Fu in Midland, Texas on that site that I can't name because Facebook. Okay, so here was the latest, greatest story from this G News site that was about Midland, okay, here, and it's 6 hours old. Tensions escalating, Bob Fu supporting being provocative. And I posted the link to it, and it immediately got blocked by Facebook. That's why that red box is around there. And so I reposted it, news story about Midland now being blocked. And it's a short story, so I'm going to read this to you. This is just posted, okay? And it says, tension escalating, Bob Fu supporter being provocative, police taking no action, Texas, breaking news 6 hours ago. October 25th marks the 21st day of peaceful protest against the fake pastor Bob Fu in Midland, Texas. With more protesters coming from around the United States to Midland to join the protest, a supporter of Bob Fu assaulted the protesters by giving them the middle finger and knocked down a protester who was sent to the hospital immediately. This man also crossed the street, allegedly committing jaywalking, for which 4 protesters were arrested by the local police recently. However, the police didn't take any actions against that man. This shows selective enforcement by our local police force. The protest went on peacefully and orderly. Protesters say they shall not leave until the local government, the mayor of Midland, and the congressman give an explanation and clarification of why slandering the protesters as terrorists. Okay, and so that was their latest story on their news site. I thought they'd be finished. Okay, and I'm going to show you here's that story, if I can get the highlight and get clicked off. Okay, breaking tension, asking Bob Fu. Okay, here we go. They're taking pictures. This is in Midland, Texas at Bob Fu's house. Okay, and here's more pictures. These are Midland people. I don't know who they are. Here's some of our Midland police right here. Okay, and at Bob Fu's house. And that was the story I just read to you. And like I said, I just got it off this site here. This is where the Hunter Biden files, and that's what's interesting is because that's where all them files and that connection back. Here, I did a search here for Midland Mayor, and that's what I got was here on their news site. Okay. Now, one last thing, I want to talk to you about Mayor Patrick Payton. I've also talked to him. And y'all know my story of grand injustice, incredible proof, and it's just crime after crime after crime that happens here. And not only my home, but many other homes here in Midland. They're rigging homes all over the United States, it looks like, with underground access, and it looks like it's connected to human trafficking. So when he was running for mayor, Mayor Patrick Payton here, I contacted him on Facebook. That's what this is. And so here I want to show you that, here was our conversations, and I'm going to scroll down, but I want you to know he replied back. And that's always important because that showed that Mayor Patrick Payton is aware of the evidence that I sent him. Because I want to show you, I sent him 2 emails just in the last week, okay? And they were on the tunnels all over Midland story and the harassment by my neighbor that was slandering me in my own backyard. I made a video of that too, and they were fact-filled videos showing, proof I wasn't shot with my gun, making it a murder attempt, talking about the secret police and all the crime. The many other homeowners reporting people in the attic. This here talks about the faked X-rays, the proof on that. I'm sending him links. Sex trafficking ringway says these are videos. This is a screenshot that was by April Chandler minutes after I was shot, and where she wrote, Mr. Webb caused himself to suffer a gunshot wound, and she was blaming me when the proof shows somebody else shot me. So I'm staying home minding my own business during a home invasion. She blamed me, said I caused myself. That I sent Mayor Patrick Payton. So you can see how myself and Miles Guo and then the protesters, that's where I'm starting to question, especially when they're saying that this Bob Fu is involved in human trafficking, and I'm going, these crimes against me are connected to human traffickers, and then the same mayor right here is looking the other way while the crimes are being committed against me. 2 secret police are dead. This was sent to the mayor. I want to show you pictures of the secret police in my home, and took 6 years to get them identified. This is all that got sent to the mayor. I know I'm going fast. That's because we don't have time to read all this to you. Y'all know all this, right? And all this evidence, I posted over and over and over and over and over again. The names of the secret police that I had to pay to get identified. He knew about it, but he ain't doing nothing about it, right? He's the guy that's defending Bob Fu, that's alleged to be involved in human trafficking. And so I'm going to go ahead and close that out. I thought y'all would find that real interesting, that there's a link to Midland, Texas, Bob Fu, the CCP, human trafficking, and the crimes against me, the underground homes. One last thing here while I'm here. There was I'm listening to my police scanner, and here I want to show you. I just did a call from my police scanner. This is real interesting. It's very short, so I'm going to let you just listen to it, okay? I'm going to have to turn my sound back on. Okay, here we go. This came in just 2 o'clock today.
Subject that was tampering with her lock, so I'll check in.
Just listening to this call, I'm 100% convinced that is another rigged home where people have gained entry, hidden entry to it. I suspect they're getting in the attic, same way as this home, same way as all the other many homeowners reported people in the attic. It took me a long time to prove that they were hacking my security systems, because that's one of the first things I did was put cameras in the security system, and I proved that that's what was going on, and that's what it sounds like is going on there. And as far as I'm concerned, her life is in danger, and I'm 100% convinced there's a group of police who I call the former secret police, and they know all about these crimes. They know who's behind it, and they may be profiting off of them.
Okay, and so basically I overheard this police scanner call, a woman calling in saying that she was hearing noises in her home, and they believe that her alarms were being tampered with. Well, see, that's what was going on here. I mean, I didn't hear people breaking in my home, and I couldn't catch them on camera, and I knew they were tampering with my alarms. It took a long time, and of course, I was shot with burglar alarms going off in my attic, literally. And now it looks like it might have been some police that shot me based on the evidence. This is Buddy Webb, Midland, Texas. Thought y'all find that interesting. Share this story.